Hi, Mr. Conant and I have decided that we wanted to put together a few little videos to help you with the modules of math this year. So the most important thing is we want to introduce you to the models students will be using and some of the kinds of problems that they're going to have to solve. We're starting the year using this model, the place value chart. And students will be using this for a better part of most of the year to help them solve problems and to help them think about our number system. The place value chart helps them understand that our number system is based on powers of 10. That when we increase numbers by 10, multiplying by 10, we move to the left one place. And when we divide by numbers, we move to the right one place. So the first thing we're going to do is the kids are going to need to be able to label each one of the columns. They're going to need to know that this is the ones place, tens, hundreds, thousands. And they're going to need to know their decimal places, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. If your child doesn't know those things yet, it would be good for them to practice that and get it memorized like they know their name. Because this is something that they're going to need to be able to know pretty quickly as we move on to more difficult problems. Next, they'll have to place decimals on the place value chart, such as 327 and 94 thousandths. They'll need to know where the decimal is and match that up. They'll need to know that the 327 represents whole numbers and that the 94 thousandths represents fractions or numbers less than 1. They'll also need to know the value of those numbers. So when they see that 3, they'll need to know that that 3 really has the value of 300. The 2 has the value of 20. The 7 has the value of 7. This, of course, is 0. The 9 has a value of 9 100ths. And the 4 has a value of 4 1,000ths. The first kind of mathematical work we're going to do with the place value chart is learn how to use it to easily multiply and divide numbers by 10. For example, they may get the problem 84 and 65 hundredths multiplied by 10. And what they'll learn is how multiplying by 10 always moves a number one place to the left. For example, 84, 65. We use arrows to show where the digits are moving. That digit is moving one place. It is now here. The 4 moves one place to the left. The 6 moves one place to the left. The 5 moves one place to the left. And when we multiply, it becomes 846 and 5/10. If I multiply that number by 100, kids will be learning the value of that. It means that we're multiplying by 10 and then by 10 again. And so we would move that number 2 places. So rather than move it just one place, now we're moving it 2 places. That 4 goes 2 places over. 1, 2. The 6 moves 2 places over. And the 5 moves 2 places over. Because we've multiplied by 10 once, and then by 10 again. Similarly, kids will learn how to do the same kind of steps with division. We'll start with that same number, 84 and 65 hundredths. There we go. And instead of multiplying it by 10, I'm going to divide it by 10. And kids will learn that when we divide by 10, numbers move to the right one place. And again, we're going to use arrows to show the digits at first to help kids ground their thinking as they use the chart. Later, they will just automatically move numbers over using decimal points as the pivot point to do that. Again, if I was dividing by 100, that means that I'm dividing by 10 and then by 10 again. And so I'd have to move the number 2 places this way, and the place value chart would help me do that. Finally, once kids get very good at that, and you can see how knowing the places is very important. So again, I'd like to encourage you to make sure your child has these places memorized and can name them easily, no matter where they are. Finally, kids will learn how to use exponents in the same way. So instead of writing 84.65 times 1,000, we would now learn to write it this way. 10 times 10 times 10, which is the same as 10 to the 3rd power. And the same with division. If I'm dividing by 100, that's the same as dividing by 10, and then dividing by 10 again. And that is the same as dividing by 10 to the 2nd power. And that is the first module, or the first topic of Module 1.